The ultimate news portal for the Philadelphia Phillies is on the air, bringing you everything about Philly's most traditional franchise.
Stay tuned for behind-the-scenes trade rumors and analysis of the big plays because our bulletin starts right now.
The Citizens Bank Park infield is about to look completely different, and it all starts with simple truth. Luis Arraez refused to play any position other than second base. That single demand triggered a chain reaction that reshaped the entire Philadelphia Phillies lineup just days before the season's home stretch. Bryce is moving to third base, Alec Bohm is moving to first base, and Bryce Harper, a former MVP who hasn't played an inning in the outfield since 2020, is returning to right field. This is a domino effect no one predicted on trade deadline day, and it's the first thing we need to analyze. Let's start with the defensive alignment, because that's where the discussion is currently heating up. For nearly 3 seasons, Rob Thomson used a static infield setup. Harper at first, Stott at second, Tree Turner at shortstop, and Bohm at third. It was comfortable, it was predictable, but as of Monday night, that formation changed completely. Dave Dombrowski's front office made a calculated bet that the offensive upgrade would outweigh the loss of defensive continuity. And now Thomson has to manage a lineup that looks nothing like the one from last week. Arraez at second base is practically a defensive sure thing. He proved in San Francisco over the last few months that last winter's concerns about his glove were overblown, even if his range was rated as average rather than exceptional. Stott's move to third base is the most interesting one here. He has the athleticism and arm strength to handle the position, but experience is key. Reaction time at third base after a hit is very different from at second, and StatCast's outs above average metric will be something to watch closely over the next 6 weeks. Bohm at first base is likely the least disruptive change group. He has sure hands and the size to handle position, and the move takes his below-average arm out of the defensive equation, which frankly might be an improvement in itself. Then we have Harper in right field. This is where James Seltzer's criticism on 94 WIP really makes sense. Harper, at 33 and 5 years removed from his last stint in the outfield, is a true defensive unknown. His sprint speed has naturally declined with age, and asking him to track down fly balls hit off Aaron Nola's sinker or Zack Wheeler's cutter in crucial September games is a risky gamble. But here's the counter-argument. Philadelphia's alternative was to stick with a lineup that ranked among the worst in MLB for OPS against left-handed pitchers. Sometimes, contending teams have to accept a defensive downgrade at one position to fix an offensive deficiency across 4 positions. That is exactly what happened here. Now, let's analyze the StatCast profile for Arraez himself, because he is a truly unique, even odd, player find in the middle of the pennant race. Arraez is chasing the 4th batting title of his career, and his approach at the plate is essentially the opposite of everything the current Phillies lineup does. He boasts one of the lowest rates of swinging at pitches outside the strike zone, and one of the lowest whiff rates in baseball. We are talking about ranking in the bottom 5% for strikeout rate over 3 consecutive seasons, though he also ranks among the lowest in average exit velocity and hard hit rate. He isn't going to crush a ball and change the game with a single swing the way Schwarber or Harper can. Instead, he puts the bat on the ball, sprays it all over the field, and simply doesn't accord outs at the same rate this lineup has been prone to. For a Phillies offense that has struck out in nearly a quarter of its plate appearances this season, one of the highest rates in the National League, Arraez is a legitimate weapon for changing the game's tempo. He shortens at-bats, keeps rallies alive, and gives Thomson an option to set the table for the power hitters, whether by batting second ahead of Turner and Harper, or by slotting into the number 2 spot to break up the heavy right-handed presence in the middle of the order. His batting average above .330 this season gives the offense Philadelphia gain a level of flexibility it simply didn't have a week ago. Let's talk about the pitching staff now, because Dombrowski didn't stop there. The acquisitions of Caleb Thielbar from San Francisco and Brooks Raley from the Mets address what has been this roster's biggest weakness all season: bullpen depth. Thielbar offers a 4-pitch right-handed repertoire, giving Thomson a multi-inning option capable of handling high-pressure situations without immediately burning out the 7th-inning relievers. His FIP has trended positively over the last 2 months, and he fits perfectly into a group that was already stabilizing, with Joan Duran anchoring the new core. Meanwhile, Raley gives Philadelphia something it lacked all season: a genuine weapon against left-handed hitters coming out of the bullpen. in a division featuring many dangerous left-handed batters during the season's home stretch. Having a specialist who can neutralize the heart of the opposing lineup in the 7th or 8th inning isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for October baseball. Together, these two signings take a bullpen that had one of the league's highest rates of blown save this season and make it truly capable of recording strikeouts, all without disrupting the core of the main roster. Now, let's discuss the competitive balance tax, CBT, and prospect capital, because this is where the front office truly deserves credit, regardless of what sports commentators are saying this morning. Arraez is essentially a rental player. He is under contract only through the winter, meaning Philadelphia didn't have to take on a long-term financial commitment to solve a short-term problem. His salary for the remainder of the season represents only a modest addition to the competitive balance tax, CBT, figure. Given that Philadelphia has operated as a club regarding payroll under the leadership of Dombrowski and managing partner John Middleton, this type of loan acquisition is exactly the kind of move that fits without risking a 4th-tier CBT penalty. Even more importantly, consider what didn't leave the organization. Andrew Painter, the jewel of the minor league system, stayed put. Justin Crawford, the athletic outfielder with high-ceiling hitting potential who has been climbing the minor league ranks all year, wasn't traded. Aiden Miller, the power-hitting infielder who many scouts view as a future middle-of-the-order bat, remains Phillies property. And Gage Wood, the promising pitcher with a powerful arm, is still in the system. For a package that yielded a 3-time batting champion, a useful multi-inning reliever, and a left-handed bullpen specialist, parting with Ramon Marquez, a promising but non-elite pitcher currently moving through low A and high A, represent a very low cost in terms of prospects. Marquez himself deserves a brief mention. He has had an exceptional year, relying on a strong fastball changeup combination, though he still needs to refine his ability to spin the ball for an effective third pitch. Scouts project him as a long-term rotation starter, while he is a valuable asset to include in a trade for immediate major league impact. He represents the kind of success story that should make the player development staff proud. So, let's return to the criticisms. Seltzer's frustration regarding the defensive changes isn't unfounded. Harper in right field is a real unknown, and there are valid questions about relying on Andrew Painter after such a limited sample size in the major leagues, or relying on Brian De La Cruz as a right-handed complement. These are valid points to watch in the coming weeks, but the idea that Philadelphia got worse at every position doesn't hold up against the numbers. You don't add a batting champion, a multi-inning reliever, and a genuine left-handed weapon for the bullpen without giving up any of your top 4 prospects and come out a loser. The offense got deeper, the bullpen got more versatile, and the front office protected the exact pieces: Painter, Crawford, Miller, Wood. That Phillies fan spent 2 years hoping would be traded away in a blockbuster deal. Is there some residual risk? Undoubtedly. The defense needs to hold firm under the pressure of September games, and Thompson's lineup will need some time during the season to find the ideal combination. But labeling this deadline a disaster ignores both the underlying metrics and the organizational value Dombrowski managed to protect. That's the full analysis of the roster heading into the home stretch of the season. If you want to follow the day-to-day performance of this new lineup, how Stott adapts to the transition to third base, and how